Today I'm going to read you the story called Muncha, Muncha, Muncha by Candace Fleming and G. Brian Karras. For years Mr. Greeley dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables and gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until this spring, said Mr. Greeley. This spring, by golly, I'm going to plant a garden. And now he's planting a garden. So he hoed and sowed, and he watched his garden grow. Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. Yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. Greeley. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. There he is, planting his garden. He's so excited. But one night when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, 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 pat. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Just look at them bunnies eating his garden. The next morning when Mr. Greeley saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. See, there it is, the fence. There, he declared, no bunny can get into my garden now. Look at the bunnies over by the fence, or by the wall, rather. The sun went down and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. What did them bunnies do? The next morning when Mr. Greeley saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence and all around the vegetable garden. He huffed. Those floppy ears will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. So see, he hasn't even eaten any of his vegetables. See if we can get to the next page and see what he does. The sun went down. There he is, sleeping over here, and he's dreaming of carrots. Now the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, tippy, pat, dig a scrabble, scratch, 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 spring hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, munch. Just look at that bunny eating lettuce. They're eating, and they got into the fence underneath the wall. The next morning when Mr. Greeley saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. He snorted. Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. No bunny can't get in my garden now. See the water trough he made all around on the outside? Let's see how it goes in his garden now. He's working hard. And the sun went down and the moon came up, and tippy, tippy, pat, dive, paddle, splash, splash, splash. He wasn't very scared of the water, is he, right now? This here bunny. Dig, scrabble, scratch, 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 spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. So they dug a little further underneath the water trough. They're quite the bunnies, that's what they are. The next morning when Mr. Greeley saw his chopped blossoms, he chewed his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts. He was furious. furious. So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetables garden. I've outsmarched those twitched whiskers for sure, he exclaimed. They can't get through it, they can't get under it, they can't get over it. No bunny ho, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now. He's so sure that his bunnies can't get in. The sun went down and the moon came up, and tippy stop. The 3 hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them, and tippy pat, the bunnies hopped away. So they didn't eat anything that night. Let's see what's going on next. The next morning, Mr. Greeley saw his untouched vegetables. Happy he was. I beat the bunnies. He whooped and did a jiggly wiggly victory dance. Then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. Ah, sighed Mr. Greeley, at last. Smacking his lips, he picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes, and with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. What do you think happened? See, there he's putting stuff in his basket. You see that? Do you see something else on this page? Muncha, muncha, muncha. There was the 3 little bunnies in his basket. So they saw the basket outside of the garden, and when he took it in, opened it up, and was putting his vegetables, they were inside that basket. So he gave each one a carrot to eat, and he ate his own carrot. And from then after, he lived happily ever after. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Thank you for listening to this story. Have a great day. God bless.